much deeper team than we had a year ago. We are more athletic, but I'm concerned about our skill level. And when you're trying to blend 8 new scholarship players in, we're going to go through some growing pains. And so we've got a lot to work on. Italy exposed a lot of our weaknesses. So it's going to be a very busy October, early November for us. And opening up with Vanderbilt is a big challenge.
Everyone wants to know about, your fab freshman, Jabari, and, how you think he's looked and how you think he'll fit in, moving forward, being that, he has an idea that he wants to be as good as he can as quickly as possible.
Well, Jabari is a very talented young man. He showed that in Italy. He was our leading scorer there. He scores in a lot of different ways. He's got a good maturity about him. He is going to have to learn to play hard at all times, which, a lot of high school guys, they have a little hard time making that adjustment. But there's no doubt the talent's there. He's just going to have a lot of hard work ahead of him. There's going to be an adjustment to Division I basketball. But I think he can make that, and I think he'll be a solid player for us.
Do you expect him to be your leading scorer throughout the season like he was?
It's way too early to tell that. We've got a lot of guys that think it's scoring. Scoring's not as big a concern as it was a year ago. I think we've got more guys who can score, more guys who have had experience scoring. I think the ability to score and having scored in Division I competition, but Olu has scored in Division I competition. DeVoe Joseph, when he gets eligible December 10th, has scored in Big Ten competition. EJ and Garrett, Johnny, Tyrone have all played at the Pac-12, Pac-10 level and have experience scoring at that level. So, to make a prediction on where Jabari will fall in, it's way too early. There are so many things that we've got to get decided in these early practices. Guys are going to have to, compete for playing time, which is a great situation for a coach. But I like the guys. I like the way they've worked to prepare themselves. I just hope they understand we've got a tremendous amount of work ahead of us.
Like you said, that guys need to compete. How nice is it for you to actually have a talent pool where you don't have to count on like Jovan so much to do everything? You've got bigger player size and everything else that you have to work with this year.
Well, we'll take Jovan back. I like counting on him because he brought it every day, and I think these guys will. We're going to go through a process here. They're going to have to get used to our coaching staff. We're going to have to get used to them, and we're going to have to blend them together, and it's going to take some time. And we've got 3 of our first 6 games on the road, so that'll be a big challenge for us. But again, I do like the increased athleticism. I do like the increased numbers. I think it gives us some potential to do a lot of different things defensively that we were not able to do a year ago. I think it will give us an opportunity to do some things offensively that we weren't able to do a year ago. But we're going to rely on our vets early and hopefully bring our new guys along and use the experience that we do have to hopefully have a team that develops as the season goes on and can compete.
How different is this team compared to last year's team, and can you do more with this team?
Well, I think we can. Again, I mentioned the athleticism. There's a definite difference there. There's an obvious difference in just the numbers. So I think those 2 things give us an advantage. But it remains to be seen, the cohesiveness. I thought last year's group really learned to play together and really competed for one another. And as the season went on, became a pretty good team. But I just don't know how this group will do. We have guys that develop as leaders as well as Javon and J.R. Strobridge did, and we have guys that are very unselfish. Those are all big questions on a basketball team because you've got to share the ball. It's got to be worked, and there are a lot of those questions that we still got to see how the guys respond.
You talked before Italy about maybe testing some more defensive pressures, presses and stuff. Is that a priority now for these first couple of weeks?
Yeah, it will be. We're going to have to do a good job of getting after people, especially early. You go on the road to Vanderbilt, you go on the road at Nebraska, BYU. You're not going to be successful trying to outscore those guys. You're going to have to guard them. So it'll be interesting to see how we handle the defensive requirements that we're going to have this year as opposed to a year ago. But I do think that it's going to be critical for us, not only early, but as the season progresses, how well we defend and how well, we get after people and stay out of foul trouble. I think those are all big questions.
Not only the athleticism, just having more options of size change what you can do defensively.
It can, it can, as long as those guys will run the floor and with our full court pressure, having a guy like Tony back there who potentially can block shots. JJ did a nice job for us when he was healthy last year, although that wasn't very many of the games. But he did some good things defensively when he was healthy. So I think the defensive pressure we can apply definitely will have more of a bite to it with the shot blocker back there and some size.
Where are you health-wise with JJ's knee and then Barron?
I think we're okay. I think Bruce is probably just kind of coming into his own. He's been a little bit behind, but JJ's been great. JJ's worked his tail off, and I've seen a sense of urgency there. So I think JJ, in the 17, 18 months I've been here, he's by far the best shape and moving the best I've seen.
Everybody else is pretty okay going into start practice.
Physically, I think we're okay. We'll see how we do with all other aspects. But yeah, they're ready to go. We're all excited about the start of season. And heck, if you're not optimistic on October 14th, 15th when practice is starting, you're in trouble. But I really like the group. I think they're ready to start practicing. And we do have some tough games. And we're going to go through some ups and downs with this team. But I think eventually, at some point in time, I think we're going to have good basketball.
What should fans who come out Friday night for that expect to see from your guys?
We're going to run up and down, and I'm sure the guys will be silly, and they're having a dunk contest, which is really scary because all that usually is somebody get hurt trying to show off. But the guys are excited about it. I hope the students are. We're kind of doing this for the students, to get them involved. They were so good to us last year, even when we were not very good, and the students stayed with us really good. So we're kind of doing this for them, and it's, in particular the pit crew. The pit crew was outstanding last year. We lost some games, and just were not a good basketball team. The pit crew, that group really stayed with us. So very appreciative of their efforts. They wanted to do this, so it's their idea, it's not mine. And so we're going to kind of carry through on some things. But like I said, I just hope nobody gets hurt in the dunk contest.
Ideally, how much time are you going to press? How many players do you think you'll need?
Ideally, we'd like to press the whole game. We traditionally have. Last year we were in a soft press, most of the time until we got down to 8 players that are late. But no, we'll press most of the time, and ideally you'll play 10 or 11 guys. I think it helps develop players, keeps everybody involved. So we like to have a deep bench, and I think we got the guys to do that. I like our depth, and so we should be able to do that.
What development have you seen in Jonathan since he came in? What do you hope to see?
I think Johnny's made big progress. I really like the progress that he's made from the end of last season until now. I was a little disappointed toward the end of the season. He lost his focus a little bit, but I thought he did a great job in the spring, summer, and fall getting ready. I think he's shooting the ball better. I like where he's at, so I think he's going to be a big part, especially early. He's going to have to run the show and do a good job, so, I like where he's at.
Has he studied for that? I mean, has he seen kind of looking at film and that kind of thing? Make himself better in that
we can't watch film with him in the off season. That's their job. He watched a little of his film from Europe, but I think Johnny understands our system a lot better. I think he understands what we want on the offense and the defensive end, so I think he'll be ready to go.
One more for Coach. Do you practice Friday besides the 8 o'clock?
Oh, yeah. We're going to practice at 5 o'clock. Let's practice at 5 o'clock, so we'll go from 5 to 7 and then come back for the deal at 8 or 9. We're not going to get
in the dunk contest or any of your assistants?
You got a trampoline? No. None of us can dunk. Our new weightlifting coach can, but he'll probably hurt himself. We were in Italy, and he jumped over the they had a little thing on the sideline. He jumped over that because he thought there was going to be a fight and threw his back out. So the biggest injury we have right now is our weightlifting coach. So.
Is it different being here from day one instead of that move from back last year and learn the new arena?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, last year was just it was a learning experience for everybody. It was hard for here, obviously, and the players trying to get adjusted to our staff. And the guys went through a lot. Like I said, if it wouldn't have been for Jovan, we would have struggled even more than we did a year ago. Jovan was great, his leadership, and then JR, once he got healthy, really helped Jovan. So we owe a lot to Jovan and JR for that season last year, and I'm just hoping some of the guys take that leadership role this year so we can have a little more fun.
Who's going to win the dunk contest?
I don't know. Tony will not miss any dunk because he's right up there right from the start. But they usually give that to littler guys because they're more impressed with the littler guys dunking it. But that should be kind of interesting.
Did Jonathan Lloyd and Brett Kingma dunk off?
Yeah.
They might need that transfer.